Hello, welcome to this channel. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what are the common mistakes that people make while applying for data science jobs. So I'm going to talk about seven such common mistakes people do and how we can avoid while applying and while trying to get a job in data science. So the first one is about how you make your CV, which is the most important starting point of applying for a data science job, right? Your CV has to be good, should be fit for the job you're applying for, and you should know that how your CV should be for a given job. Often people simply send the same CV to all kinds of data science jobs. Well, there is no such job called a single type of data science. There are various data science jobs, right? So you have to keep changing your you have to make your CV in such a way that it is suitable for a given type of data science job. For example, if you're trying to get a job in banking, your CV should be different from if you're trying to get a job in e-commerce. And often, as a fresher, you do not have much choices. So what you do is that you apply all kinds of jobs. So some people make a single CV and send it to all kinds of jobs that are there on the job site. But that's a big mistake because it has to be tailored made for a given profile. So ensure that you do that, and ensure that everything is there that is required for a given profile. Okay, so read about the profile or the job description and accordingly make a CV and then send it to the employer. So that's the first mistake. The second one is the wrong profile selection. Well, there are various types of data science jobs. The first one is where you actually analyze data and try to get insight out of your data. But there are the other types of data science jobs as well. For example, some data science jobs are more IT driven, where you have to work on infrastructure and you simply need to implement the models that are already built. Okay, and some data science jobs will require you to do a lot of automation. Okay, so it depends which one you are suitable for. For example, if you have lots of programming experience and automation experience, you probably will be expecting a job which requires a lot of automation. But if you have more from a research background, you will want a job which is more insight driven. That means the main job is to get insight out of the data. So you have to select you have to only apply for those jobs which are of your type. Okay, otherwise it's likely that you will simply be wasting your time by applying for jobs which are totally different from your skill sets. Too much of IT stuff. So often people think that data science is more like IT, so they simply write a lot of things that they know about IT. Many of them have IT background. They simply write a lot what they have done in IT, whether it's infrastructure support, whether it's production support, doing testing and so on. All these things do matter a bit, but not so much. So don't write a lot about them. Write in brief. It will obviously an add-on. Always good to know more about IT and systems and so on, but you cannot simply highlight the experience a lot, because if you write a lot about that, people will think that you come from an IT background and trying to get into data science. So that message shouldn't be shouldn't be clear to the interviewer. And some people only know about the jargons. Okay, so what they do is that they even though they know things, they simply use a lot of jargons during the interview, and that's a big negative actually. So avoid doing that. If you are using a jargon, make sure that you understand it and you explain it properly to the interviewer, to your future employer. And if you can explain something simply, you can explain something in a simple manner, or with you can solve a problem using simple algorithms. Ensure that you do that rather than simply all the times talking about deep learning algorithms. That's basically what I want to say. And that's what people are doing, right? In interviews, they're simply using machine learning, deep learning all the times. right? So that's wrong. Every time you see people talking a lot about these fancy algorithms, oftentimes they don't understand what actually is the background, or all these algorithms are about. So avoid jargons. So we then come to the next point, which is the knowledge of statistics and math. Some people have no idea about statistics and math. They think that data science is all about programming and calling libraries from scikit-learn and from TensorFlow and so on. But that's not true. You need to have basic understanding of statistics and mathematics. Okay, you should know the linear algebra, about inferential statistics, about calculus, about a bit of coordinate geometry. Okay, so ensure that you have the fundamentals clear, because oftentimes what happens is that during the interview you will be asked questions from probability and statistics, even though it is not required in the job, but you will be tested on those areas as well. So ensure that you brush up your statistics and probability knowledge before you go for an interview. So don't do that mistake. It may not be directly useful, but it will add a lot of value to your interview if you know them. And in many jobs it is absolutely must. For example, in finance, if you're going for data science jobs in finance, it is absolutely necessary that you have good understanding of probability and statistics. Some people only highlight the theoretical knowledge. Okay, so they simply highlight the courses they have taken in the college, the courses they have done at past of online training and so on. That's important and good to have, but what's more important is your practical knowledge, or a good mix of theoretical and practical knowledge. So do not simply highlight the theoretical knowledge you have, simply saying that okay, I've done so and so courses in college, in university. Obviously it is very important, but it's more important to mention about your practical experience. If you do not have any experience, mention about the intensive experience you have had, or even if you have done some project on your own. So talk about that, write about that, because what matters to the employer, your future employer, is your knowledge about your project, whether they can simply use you directly in the project they're doing. So project experience is more important. So that's one thing you should highlight. You simply do not spend a lot of time explaining the theoretical knowledge you have. It's nice to have, but what's more important is whether you have project experience or not. And the last one I'm going to talk about is that people often do not read about the job description, and they simply read a lot about the theory and the projects they have done, but very little about what is required in a job, which is often mentioned in the job description. People do not give much importance to that, so they don't do any homework or research, and they simply go for the interview. So that's not expected. Most data science jobs are research based jobs, so you are supposed to do some level of research on the job description that's in front of you. So ensure that you do all your research. Nowadays you have easy access to information on the internet, so you can always Google and know a bit more about the job, talk to people about the jobs, and get to know more about the job and the company and the problems that you're going to be solving in that particular role. It's important for all kinds of jobs, but more important for data science jobs, which are extremely specific, but also at the same time require you to have a breadth of knowledge. So you should have done that research before you go for the interview. So these are some of the mistakes people do, and if you overcome these mistakes, then your chances of getting selected in a data science interview becomes small. So thank you.